The screen glows. One scroll leads to another, each swipe a pulse of information, each headline a whisper of fear. The mind lingers, captivated by disaster, outrage, or uncertainty, even as discomfort grows. Doom scrolling is more than habit, it is a window into human psychology. It reflects the tension between curiosity and caution, engagement and distress, control and surrender. The mind seeks knowledge yet absorbs anxiety. It craves awareness yet invites overwhelm. This story explores the psychology of doom scrolling, why the mind is drawn to alarming content, how fear, attention, and cognitive patterns reinforce the habit, and why in an age of constant information, the human psyche flirts with its own fragility. The screen glows in the quiet of the evening, one swipe, one scroll, and the mind drifts into an endless river of information. Headlines flash, images flicker, stories cascade, each a gentle tug, a whisper, look, notice, understand. It is simple, yet magnetic, ordinary yet insistent. Curiosity is the first pulse. Humans are drawn to what is novel, surprising, or unresolved. Every notification offers a hint of insight, a glimpse into events unfolding elsewhere, a sense of being connected to the wider world. The mind leans forward instinctively, seeking the resolution of uncertainty, the answer to the question it did not yet know it had. Novelty reinforces engagement. Each scroll brings new stimuli, different faces, unfolding events, conflicting opinions. The mind rewards discovery. The brief surge of surprise and understanding and encourages continuation. Even when the content is troubling, the allure of fresh information persists, quietly compelling repeated action. Being, who in the loop, matters. The modern mind equates awareness with agency, believing that knowledge of events confers control or preparedness. Even small gaps in information create unease, a tension that scrolling promises to relieve. The act itself is comforting, a ritual, a rhythm, a small mastery over an overwhelming world. Yet the pull is paradoxical. The mind is drawn to content that is emotionally charged, often negative, often alarming. Threats, disasters, and conflicts capture attention more reliably than neutral or positive stories. This is not accident, it is embedded in cognition, a relic of evolutionary survival mechanisms that once favored vigilance and caution. Repetition strengthens the habit. A few minutes can stretch into hours, one story leads to another, one alert to the next. The mind becomes accustomed to the rhythm of information, the cadence of updates, and the emotional arousal they provoke. Each swipe confirms engagement, reinforcing the sense of necessity, the belief that stopping would risk missing something essential. The pull of the screen is also subtle and seductive. It is not screaming or demanding, it is calm, ambient, persistent. It offers knowledge, connectivity, and relevance while quietly shaping attention, expectation, and emotional state. The mind responds almost automatically, drawn by patterns of curiosity, novelty, and emotional resonance. This attraction highlights a deep human tension, the desire to know, to be prepared, to feel connected, and the simultaneous cost of overexposure, distraction, and worry. The screen becomes both companion and captor, offering awareness while inviting surrender. Doom scrolling begins here, in the quiet pull of light and pattern, in the subtle promise of insight, and in the human impulse to stay engaged, even when engagement itself becomes exhausting. It is the gentle, persistent lure of connection, curiosity, and vigilance, a pull that feels necessary even as it erodes calm and presence. The mind is ancient even in a digital age. Beneath screens and notifications lies a biology shaped by millennia of uncertainty, risk, and survival. Humans are wired to notice threat, ambiguity, and sudden change, patterns that once signaled danger in the environment. Attention is drawn to what might harm, disrupt, or demand immediate action. Vigilance was adaptive. Early humans survived by noticing subtle signs, movement in the brush, changes in the wind, sounds that suggested predator or rival. Attention to danger increased survival. Inattention could mean death. The brain evolved to prioritize negative or alarming information because missing it carried cost far higher than ignoring pleasure or neutrality. This ancient wiring persists even when threats are symbolic rather than physical. News of disasters, crime, political unrest, or environmental collapse triggers the same circuits once reserved for immediate survival. The amygdala, the seat of emotional vigilance, signals alertness, readiness, and caution, heightening attention and focus. The mind responds as if the danger is proximate, even when it is distant or abstract. Uncertainty amplifies vigilance. Incomplete information creates tension, ambiguity demands attention. The unknown is uncomfortable, triggering scanning, searching, and pattern-seeking behavior. Doom scrolling provides temporary resolution. Each headline, tweet, or update offers a fragment of understanding, a sense of preparedness, or the illusion of control. Social and cultural factors compound the effect. Humans are social creatures attuned to the experiences of others. Reports of suffering, injustice, or conflict evoke empathy, fear, or moral concern, further pulling attention. The mind is both protective and participatory, scanning not only for personal threat, but for cues about the well-being of community, kin, and society. Cognitive biases reinforce vigilance. Negativity bias ensures that alarming or threatening information captures attention more than neutral or positive events. Availability heuristic magnifies perceived risk dramatic. Memorable stories loom larger than mundane reality. The mind becomes primed to overestimate danger and urgency, constantly seeking updates, confirmation, or resolution. Evolutionary wiring meets modern technology. Social feeds, news apps, and notification systems exploit these innate tendencies, presenting curated, emotionally charged, and endlessly refreshed information. The mind responds instinctively, almost reflexively, scanning, absorbing, and reacting, even when logic recognizes overexposure or emotional cost. Vigilance is thus both ancient and adaptive, and in the context of doom scrolling, it becomes a double-edged sword. It keeps the mind alert, informed, and connected, yet it also feeds anxiety, restlessness, and fatigue. The pull to monitor, to check, to know, is as much a biological echo of survival as it is a psychological habit forged in a digital world. Ultimately, doom scrolling is not simply a habit of weakness or distraction, it is a modern manifestation of an age-old survival mechanism. The mind seeks knowledge to navigate uncertainty, scans for danger to stay safe, and responds to the rhythm of information as it once responded to the rhythm of life-threatening environments. The tension between ancient vigilance and modern digital exposure sets the stage for the compelling, exhausting, and deeply human pattern that follows. Scrolling begins as curiosity, but it rarely stops there. The mind encounters a cascade of stimuli, headlines, images, videos, notifications, each promising new insight or surprise. Some are significant, many trivial, yet each delivers a small pulse of engagement, a whisper of relevance, a spark of emotional reaction. This is the architecture of attention loops. Intermittent reinforcement, a principle from psychology and behavioral science, ensures that reward is unpredictable. Sometimes a swipe yields crucial information. Sometimes a headline confirms bias, surprises, or startles. The uncertainty of reward creates anticipation, and the brain responds as it does to gambling or other variable payoffs, releasing dopamine in subtle, irresistible pulses. Novelty accelerates engagement. Every new post offers a fragment of information previously unknown, a small relief from uncertainty or boredom. Even repetition, the same topic revisited, feels fresh through changing context, perspective, or emotional framing. The mind interprets these signals as meaningful, encouraging continued attention. The algorithm magnifies this loop. It tracks clicks, likes, dwell time, and engagement patterns, learning what captures focus and what passes unnoticed. Feeds are curated to deliver maximum stimulation, often prioritizing emotional intensity, anger, awe, sadness, or surprise over neutrality. The result is a near-constant feedback loop. The more the mind interacts, the more the system responds, and the more compelling the pull becomes. Emotional arousal reinforces the cycle. Fear, curiosity, outrage, and concern trigger alertness, increasing attention and cognitive focus. Each new post is not neutral, it carries effective weight. The mind craves this stimulation even when it knows it will provoke anxiety or tension. Time perception shifts subtly. Minutes stretch into hours as the mind chases resolution. Novelty or reassurance. Scrolling becomes automatic. Eyes and fingers move almost independently of conscious intention. The feedback loop is so seamless that disengagement feels like a missed opportunity, a risk of falling behind or remaining uninformed. Cognitive energy is consumed in subtle ways. Even when the mind is aware of overexposure, attention loops are difficult to interrupt. The system exploits instinctive drives, curiosity, vigilance, desire for novelty while leveraging emotional engagement, reinforcing both behavior and expectation. Habits form almost invisibly. The brain begins to anticipate the pattern: check, scroll, react, repeat. Behavior becomes conditioned, reinforced both by algorithmic design and internal psychological mechanisms. Each session strengthens the loop, embedding doom scrolling as a near, automatic response to boredom, anxiety, or uncertainty. Yet these loops are not entirely maladaptive. They provide information, connection, and awareness, tools humans value for navigation in complex, uncertain environments. The challenge lies in the intensity and frequency of engagement, and in the subtle erosion of autonomy and emotional equilibrium that can accompany constant scanning. Ultimately, attention loops reveal the interplay between mind and machine. They exploit ancient drives for novelty, vigilance, and reward, shaping behavior in ways that feel natural yet are profoundly engineered. Doom scrolling is not merely distraction, it is a cognitive and emotional pattern, amplified by design, honed by habit, and sustained by the architecture of attention itself. The mind scrolls and emotion follows. A cascade of headlines, alerts, and images triggers subtle currents of fear, frustration, or sorrow. Even when events are distant, the brain responds as if they are immediate, an echo of ancient survival wiring. Anxiety is the first visitor. Each alarming headline suggests danger, uncertainty, or loss. The mind anticipates consequences, imagines scenarios, and rehearses outcomes it cannot control. The screen becomes a conduit for tension, a medium that both informs and unsettles. Helplessness grows quietly. Knowledge alone does not grant agency. Seeing suffering, disaster, or conflict, endlessly repeated, highlights limitations of influence. The mind feels exposed, overwhelmed, and emotionally taxed, yet continues to seek awareness, hoping that more information will restore control. Hyperarousal is subtle but persistent. Heart rate quickens, attention narrows, thoughts loop. Sleep, concentration, and emotional regulation are affected even after the device is set aside. The mind becomes sensitized, scanning for threat beyond the screen, anticipating news or alerts that may never come. Yet emotion is not solely negative. Curiosity, fascination, and engagement coexist with tension, providing brief relief or sense of mastery when updates resolve uncertainty. The pattern is seductive discomfort followed by temporary reassurance, encouraging continuation despite cumulative strain. Guilt often accompanies awareness. Consciousness recognizes overexposure, yet the compulsion persists. The tension between intention and behavior deepens emotional intensity, leaving a lingering sense of self-critique alongside worry. Emotional resonance is amplified by personalization. Algorithms highlight content that aligns with attention, past engagement, or effective response. The mind is nudged toward what provokes feeling, anger, fear, or sadness, rather than neutrality. Each scroll is emotionally charged, reinforcing both habit and susceptibility. Social connection compounds impact. Images of human suffering, injustice, or tragedy evoke empathy. The mind feels responsible, implicated, or morally attuned, creating further tension between engagement and emotional well-being. Doom scrolling is thus both intimate and pervasive. It draws the individual into collective anxiety while providing the illusion of vigilance and care. The cycle is insidious because the mind is simultaneously drawn and drained. Information is consumed, feelings are stirred, yet resolution is rare. The brain craves understanding, connection, and preparedness, even as scrolling intensifies distress. Ultimately, emotional consequences reveal the human cost of engagement. Doom scrolling is not just habit. It is an affective experience, a persistent interplay between fear, fascination, and compulsion. It illuminates the tension between survival instincts, emotional resonance, and digital design, a quiet psychological truth of the modern age. The mind is not a neutral observer. It filters, interprets, and prioritizes information through a lens shaped by evolution, experience, and expectation. Doom scrolling exploits this lens, guiding attention toward what is alarming, novel. Negativity bias is ancient and pervasive. The brain attends more readily to threats, dangers, and losses than to neutral or positive events. This bias once enhanced survival. Spotting the predator mattered more than admiring the sunset. Today, it fuels compulsive scanning. The more alarming the headline, the more attention it commands. Confirmation bias deepens the effect. Humans favor information that aligns with existing beliefs, fears, or assumptions. Scrolling through curated feeds reinforces perception. The world seems more dangerous, chaotic, or unjust than statistics alone would suggest. Each scroll confirms expectation, each click validates preconception, creating a feedback loop that distorts reality. Selective attention also plays a role. The mind focuses on vivid, emotionally charged, or morally significant details, often ignoring nuance, context, or counterexamples. The result is a perception of reality shaped by engagement patterns rather than objective truth. In other words, what captures the eye becomes what defines the world. Projection magnifies influence. The mind imputes agency, intention, or moral significance to algorithms, feeds, and posts. An image, headline, or trending topic is interpreted as meaningful or urgent, even if its presentation is arbitrary or engineered for attention. Cognition interprets pattern as purpose and purpose as relevance. Together, these biases shape experience. The world becomes a series of alerts, crises, and moral calls to attention. Emotions intensify, perception narrows, and the mind feels compelled to continue scanning, seeking information that seems necessary but may offer little real clarity. Doom scrolling is not accidental. It is amplified by design. Algorithms exploit cognitive vulnerabilities, presenting content that resonates emotionally and confirms expectations. Attention is harvested, engagement reinforced, and perception subtly shaped. The mind experiences a reality filtered by instinct, bias, and curation, a version of the world that feels urgent, overwhelming, and inescapable. Yet awareness provides refuge. Recognizing bias allows reflection, noticing how attention, expectation, and emotion shape perception without fully surrendering to them. The mind can regain perspective, distinguishing instinctive reaction from conscious evaluation. Cognitive bias and perception reveal the quiet architecture of doom scrolling. It is not only a habit of the hand but a habit of the mind. Attention, expectation, and emotion are intertwined, creating a landscape where the world feels more precarious, urgent, and alarming than it objectively is. Understanding this pattern is the first step toward clarity, balance, and measured engagement. Scrolling begins innocuously, a few minutes of curiosity. Over time, it becomes rhythm, then compulsion. The fingers move almost automatically, the eyes trace familiar patterns, the mind anticipates the next headline before it appears. The behavior becomes part of daily life, so seamless that intention and habit blur. Compulsion emerges from the convergence of reward, vigilance, and emotional arousal. Each alarming headline delivers emotional signal. Each update confirms expectation. Each notification triggers curiosity. The mind anticipates reward but receives uncertainty, enough to sustain engagement endlessly. Even when conscious judgment knows to stop, the loop persists. Quietly pulling infiltrates identity. One begins to see themselves as informed, aware, or connected. Scrolling is not merely action, it becomes a marker of self, a reflection of diligence, vigilance, and moral entity is partially constructed by an invisible system, shaped by what the algorithm surfaces and reinforces. Time perception shifts subtly, hours slip unnoticed, focus drifts, priorities narrow. The ritual of engagement becomes intertwined with self-perception, the compulsive checker, the vigilant observer, the connected participant. The mind learns to define itself by attention patterns as much as by intention or reflection. Tension arises between autonomy and compulsion. The conscious self may resist, aware of anxiety, exhaustion, or emotional toll, yet the habitual self persists. This duality creates subtle frustration. The mind knows better. The experience becomes a negotiation between reflective intention and conditioned response. Social and cultural identity are also shaped. Awareness of events, moral outrage, and shared vigilance reinforce belonging to communities that value information and engagement. Scrolling becomes a form of participation, a signal of care, concern, or relevance in a networked world. Yet the identity constructed in this way is entwined with compulsion, partially shaped by external design, rather than purely self-determined choice. The mind learns to anticipate the cycle. Check, scroll, react, linger, repeat. This rhythm becomes soothing in its predictability, even as it perpetuates emotional arousal. Compulsion feels both autonomous and inevitable, a paradox at the heart of modern digital life. Yet habit need not equal helplessness. Conscious awareness of patterns triggers an emotional response, allows reflection, interruption, and choice. The mind can reclaim autonomy, engage selectively, and integrate insight while preserving vigilance. Ultimately, doom scrolling is both behavior and identity, a compulsion that shapes thought, perception, and self-concept. It is a mirror of human curiosity, anxiety, and social awareness, reflecting ancient drives in a modern digital landscape. The challenge lies in navigating the tension, to remain informed without surrendering autonomy, to be vigilant without being consumed, and to engage without losing self. The screen still glows, but the mind is no longer captive. Mindful engagement begins with noticing the pull, noticing the urge, noticing the emotional response that rises with each scroll. Conscious awareness transforms interaction from compulsion to choice. Pause becomes practice. Before swiping, the mind reflects, do I seek information, connection, or distraction? This small act of acknowledgement restores autonomy, allowing the individual to decide rather than react reflexively. Boundaries shape experience. Limiting exposure, setting intention, and pacing interaction creates space for reflection and emotional recovery. Notifications, alerts, and feeds are no longer invisible forces, they are tools to be used thoughtfully. Agency returns when attention is treated as precious, not infinite. Emotional awareness deepens engagement. The mind observes feelings of anxiety, curiosity, or fascination without surrendering to them. Emotions are acknowledged, examined, and integrated into conscious choice, rather than allowed to dictate behavior. Scrolling becomes a dialogue with the self, rather than a flood of external stimuli. Reflection mitigates bias. Recognizing negativity bias, confirmation bias, and emotional triggers allows discernment, which information informs, which distracts, which distorts perception. The mind can navigate feeds selectively, choosing insight over compulsion, clarity over emotional overload. Integration transforms habit into insight. Doom scrolling is not eradicated, it is tempered with awareness, rhythm, and intentionality. The mind learns to scan without surrendering, to stay informed without being overwhelmed, to witness events without internalizing every anxiety. Ultimately, mindful engagement is not about control alone, it is about presence. It is the ability to inhabit a digital landscape with consciousness, reflection, and emotional steadiness. The mind becomes a participant rather than a victim, balancing curiosity with calm, vigilance with perspective. Doom scrolling, once a source of anxiety and compulsion, can reveal insight into the self, its fears, drives, attention patterns, and emotional rhythms. By observing without surrendering, the individual learns to navigate information consciously, maintaining balance in a world of endless alerts and endless stories. The practice is subtle but profound, to scroll without losing oneself, to witness without being consumed, and to remain both informed and serene. In mindful engagement, the mind discovers freedom, not in ignorance, but in awareness, choice, and measured presence. Doom scrolling is no longer a trap, it becomes a mirror of mind and behavior, a reflection to be observed, understood, and harmonized. Through awareness, the individual finds calm in the glow of the screen, clarity in the flood of information, and agency in the endless scroll.